Maine students experienced a devastating earthquake while in Ecuador over the weekend.
And a group supporting the use of medical marijuana takes their campaign to Augusta.
It's Friday, April 22nd, and your NESCom Connection starts right now.
From the campus of Husson University, this is your NESCom Connection.
Hello everyone, I'm Nicole Duplessis.
And I'm Alyssa Thurlow.
Students from a Maine Christian school were among those affected by a devastating weekend earthquake in Ecuador.
The students were in Ecuador to both study and help those in need. WGME's Jared Pelletier reports.
I felt a pit in my stomach that I don't think I've ever felt before.
On Saturday, Katie Teague realized her 14-year-old son, Sean, seen wearing glasses, was in Ecuador when an earthquake struck near the coast. Relief came in the form of a voicemail.
We're alive, so all fine, every single one of us. Yeah, we're just a little bit shaken up.
Every time I see the casualty go up, all I can think of is thank you, God, they're okay.
Trina Garrison has spoken with her 14-year-old son, Cade, on the far left several times.
He said that there's a lot of fallen buildings, there's a lot of debris, that it was worse than what he initially thought. And he just said, you know, it's a scary situation.
Communication has been limited since the earthquake. Adult leaders tell parents they have food, water, and a safe place to stay. Earlier this month, students arrived in the city of Manta to work with the community through a local church.
They would be helping with crafts. They would be feeding them, playing with them.
Through the chaos, the group's focus is still on helping the community. A family the students met lost its home in the earthquake, so they decided to pitch in.
They emptied their pockets and took up some kind of a collection.
The group was supposed to come back on Wednesday. Because of the damage, it may take a few more days to get a flight home. Parents say they'll be waiting at the airport with arms wide open.
I might not let him go.
I'll probably start crying and bawling and running through security that I'm not supposed to go through because I just want to grab them and hug them.
The students have returned to Maine. Lake Region High School in Naples also confirmed there are several students from that school who are traveling in Ecuador. They will return to Maine on Sunday.
Maine State Police are investigating whether a 65-year-old Portland man who shot himself 3 times with a flare gun Tuesday morning was attempting to commit suicide. State Police say it happened on Interstate 295. 2 motorists, 42-year-old Jason Forbes of Freeport and 48-year-old Paul Olliston of Thompson, stopped to help the man. The 2 men used a fire extinguisher to put out a fire in the cab of the man's truck and pulled him to safety.
Supporters of medical marijuana use are looking for a change in policy. They want lawmakers to approve the use of marijuana for opiate addiction treatment. Supporters met in Augusta on Tuesday. They say people being treated for heroin addiction should be allowed to use medical marijuana. Dozens of people at a public hearing told lawmakers marijuana eases the symptoms of opioid withdrawal and offers a healthier alternative to painkillers. Representatives of Maine's medical establishments are opposed to the idea. They say there is no scientific evidence backing up claims that marijuana is effective in treating addiction. The Maine Department of Health and Human Services held the hearing in response to a petition from a caregiver in Unity. The department now has 180 days to respond to the petition.
Maine Maritime Academy has reached an agreement with Verso Paper Mill in Bucksport to buy 6 acres of land near the site of the former mill. MMA President William Brennan says the institute would house a training facility for students and mariners. AIM Development acquired Verso's property last year for $58 million. Jeff McGillian, AIM's Vice President for Development, said he was unaware of any deals between his firm and MMA. Rich Rotella, Bucksport's Community and Economic Development Director, says he is also not aware of MMA's plans. Work on tearing down the mill stopped in early March after a demolition contractor failed to pay subcontractors for work they had done at the former mill.
United Airlines is offering summer and fall flights between Bangor and Newark, New Jersey. According to airport officials, the flights will start July 1st and end October 29th. They say it is another way for local passengers to get to the New York area and catch connecting flights. According to United's online ticketing service, a round-trip ticket fare is around $1,700. A spokesman for United says that the premium price is put in the software as a placeholder. The real ticket cost will be significantly lower.
Traveling has been growing in popularity among college students over the years. This has led to many mottos, most notably the phrase, "Adventure is out there." Recently, another motto has been gaining traction. Explore until you die is the new catchphrase that seems quite blunt. As a social media hashtag, it has seen more than 200 posts on Instagram, and it's still growing. David Furtado has more on this hashtag turn business.
If you're an adventurer, chances are you'll find something interesting about this picture of a rocky landscape as far as the eye can see at Bryce Canyon in Utah, or this photo looking out over Magens Bay in the U.S. Virgin Islands. These are the kind of images that people at Explore Until You Die hope will inspire you to go out and see the world. This Instagram page, launched just over 4 months ago, is aimed at anyone who loves to travel. Company founder Mitch Watson was only 14 years old when his aunt was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS. Once she started to show signs of deterioration, Watson's uncle set out to show his Colombian wife the green forested valleys to the rocky snow-capped mountains within the 12,000 plus miles of U.S. coastline. Watson said in a company description via Facebook that his uncle was her guardian angel and the true inspiration for this company.
To me, it's a lifestyle that my uncle kind of created and gave me the vision to make.
What Mitch made was a brand that promotes living life to the fullest and sharing adventure stories using video techniques to help advertise other companies as well as travel in general.
And it just went out from there. People started using my hashtag, started tagging me in things, and it started blowing up. It didn't really hit me until other opportunities started popping up.
Once the Explore Until You Die brand started to increase in popularity, it went from an idea to a surreal possibility. As the company became too much for one person to handle, Mitch reached out to other NESCom students, marketing major Jillian Wilson and video production major Cody Chasson. Jillian Wilson manages the social media side of the company, as well as help Mitch Watson fulfill his vision of exploring while working with other businesses and travel agencies.
So it's almost like an advertising partnership. We'll do a video for them and we'll post their video on our Instagram and Facebook accounts in return to them sharing what we post.
Cody Chasson is creating video content. Chasson has been working closely with Mitch to convey the company message as well as the quality of its video production.
Shot that I'm most proud of that we use for this company is definitely the drone shot of the Portland headlight. It was a shot that as soon as I got, I knew it would be a great fit for this company.
Mitch Watson says the company has come a long way, and with the marketing and video components, he's hoping to see it go a lot further.
So when you buy a t-shirt or you buy any type of our products, you're joining a team of people that show people that this is where you went on the adventure and other people can go see it too.
For NESCom Connection, I'm David Furtado.
Well, when we come back, authorities find infant body parts in a crawl space under a North Carolina home.
And the world remembers the man who turned the rain purple.
Get your suit. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
A man was shot to death earlier this week in a popular college town in Wisconsin. Police say 8 shots were fired at a 30-year-old outside a pub in Madison. He was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, there have been no arrests. Police say it was not a random act and that the parties knew each other. It is still under investigation.
Remains of a child were found in the crawl space under a home in North Carolina last week. A man installing cable found several bags which police say appeared to hold several body parts from a newborn. Police say someone had wrapped them in towels and put them in 3 different trash bags. The medical examiner confirmed the remains were those of an infant. The woman who leases the house said her daughter lived with her over the years at that home, and she says her daughter had been pregnant up to 10 times and given birth multiple times. The investigation is ongoing.
An autopsy has been ordered for world-renowned pop artist Prince. Prince was found dead at his estate in Minnesota on Thursday. Last week, Prince was hospitalized briefly after his plane was forced to make an emergency landing in Illinois. His representatives say he had been fighting off the flu. Prince rose to fame in the late 70s and was probably most popular in the 80s and early 90s, with hits such as Little Red Corvette, Purple Rain, Let's Go Crazy, and Diamonds and Pearls. Prince, his full name Prince Rogers Nelson, was 57.
Well, if you're a fan of French fries, this may make your day. McDonald's is about to test a new business model in Missouri with an eyebrow-raising feature, all-you-can-eat fries. That will be one of several new features one store is experimenting with. Customers will also be able to place their order at a kiosk, and orders will be brought to a customer's table. The franchise is set to open in July. When we come back, Nick Blaszczak will join us with sports.
And we'll find out if more April showers are headed your way.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hello everyone, I'm Nick Blaszczak. On Monday, tens of thousands gathered for the 120th Boston Marathon, and for the first time ever, Ethiopian runners completed the sweep, winning both the men's and women's titles. Lami Haile broke the tape with a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 45 seconds. And Atsede Baissa won the women's division roughly 16.5 minutes after Haile crossed the finish line. In the wheelchair divisions, Marcel Hug of Switzerland repeated as men's champion after edging out a 3-man sprint to the finish, while U.S. Paralympian Tatiana McFadden won the women's title for the 4th year in a row. Husson University's Winkin Sports Complex will undergo a major facelift this summer. NESCom sports reporter Chris Czachor joined us live in the newsroom with more on that story. Chris?
Thanks, Nick. The 14-year-old turf surface at the Winkin Sports Complex will be replaced this summer. The project will reach 7 figures in price and will provide a safer and more modern playing surface for Husson University sports.
The turf field at the Winkin Sports Complex on the campus of Husson University will be torn up and replaced this summer. The current turf surface was installed in 2002. Its 10-year warranty ended in 2012, but Husson's athletic director, Frank Pergolizzi, says that a recent GMAX test revealed that the field was still usable. However, the resiliency has decreased enough that Pergolizzi wants to replace the turf. The field plays host to practices and home games for the Husson football, baseball, and field hockey teams. Pergolizzi believes that this is more action than the field was ever meant to handle.
The field was originally built just for baseball, and when they started football at Husson, they had to expand the field to accommodate a football field. And we've been told, there's no factual evidence of this, but that when they extended the fences back, they did not extend the drainage system.
minor flooding could be a major problem on any playing surface. Pergolizzi says that new shock pads under the turf could help with draining.
Underneath the turf, we're putting something that's called a shock pad. And the shock pad helps with the resiliency, but primarily it helps facilitate the drainage.
Pergolizzi says that the turf replacement project will cost over $1 million and will be funded by the university's reserves fund.
Another new addition to the turf will be a warning track here where I'm standing along the outfield wall. The warning track will be a different color than the rest of the turf. It is meant to prevent outfield players from running into this wall as they're chasing after fly balls.
Jason Harvey, the manager of the Husson baseball team, is excited about how the new playing surface could affect player recruitment.
Bringing somebody in and bringing recruiting and showing a brand new playing surface, or even talking about the playing surface, is definitely something I think gives us a little bit of an edge. We've got obviously a brand new, beautiful stadium with 3,000 seats and lights. Adding a new playing surface to upgrade it definitely shows that the university is willing to support athletics at a very high level and believes that that's going to be a huge factor.
The installment of the new turf field is expected to take 6 to 8 weeks. Pergolizzi says that the university plans on having the project done long before the first football practices in August.
Pergolizzi says that while looking for potential vendors, Husson considered the reputation of the company, the resiliency of the surface, and the total cost of the project. Nick?
Thank you, Chris, for that report. Looking to shake off a tough 1-point loss to the Atlanta Hawks in Game 1 of the quarterfinals, the Boston Celtics hit the court Tuesday night trying to knot the series at 1 apiece. We'll pick things up early in the first. Kyle Korver from the corner knocking down a tray to give the Atlanta Hawks an 8-point lead. He was automatic as the Celtics just scored 7 points in the first quarter, the lowest NBA total for a first quarter playoff spot since 1954. Things wouldn't get much better for the Celtics in the second as Jeff Teague goes to the right, throwing up an alley-oop to the big man Al Horford, laying down the hammer as he had 17 points, tied for a game high with Kyle Korver. In the third, Celtics trying to climb back into it. It's Evan Turner, little crossover spin move going reverse, lays this one in off the glass. Nice little layup there for Turner, who had 12 points on the night. Celtics trailed by 11 there. Tim Hardaway Jr. coming down the left side, kicks it out to Harford, who throws up the three, knocks it down, and shows the big man has got some range. Heading into the fourth quarter, Hawks up by 15. They just work around the perimeter here. Tavo Selvalosha knocks down a three as the Hawks going to capture a 2-0 series lead, 89-72. The C's back in action tonight as they take on the Atlanta Hawks for Game 3 as the series shifts to Boston. Opening tip-off is set for 8 p.m. The Boston Red Sox wrapped up their 10-game homestand on Thursday with a rubber match against the Tampa Bay Rays. Seeking to end the stay in Boston above 500, the Red Sox gave their ace the ball to close out the series on a high note. Red Sox ace David Price getting set, warming up looking for his third win. Dustin Pedroia slapping this one to left field, hits this one into the monster seats, a 374 shot to give the Red Sox a 5-run big inning for them. As David Price looking to hang on to that, the Rays say, anything you can do, I can do better, as Kurt Castellizzi knocks a 2-run shot of his own, sparking a 6-run big inning for them. Bottom of the 6th, Mookie Betts trying to get the Sox back into this one, down 8-5. He hits a towering shot over the Monsters, and it's 8-7 now. And then we jump ahead to the bottom of the 7th. Travis Shaw slapping a shot to center field. This one gets away from the center fielder, Kevin Kiermaier. David Ortiz comes in to score, 8-8 ball game, but in the top of the 9th, Logan Forsythe hits this one to left center field to tack on some added insurance as the Rays go on to close this one out by a final score of 12-8. Boston begins a 5-game road trip tonight, starting with the contest against the Houston Astros. Knuckleballer Stephen Wright gets the nod to face right-hander Colin McHugh. First pitch is slated for 8:10. Speaking of road trip, after splitting their 6-game homestand, the Husson softball team took the bus out of town for 8 straight games. NESCom sports reporter Brian Sidelinger joins us live via Skype with a recap on the team's busy week. Brian?
Thanks, Nick. The Husson softball team played 4 doubleheaders this week and went 5-3 on the stretch, including sweeps of Linden State and the University of Maine Farmington by a combined score of 45-6. The Eagles currently sit in 4th place in the North Atlantic Conference, and after the long road trip, return home to Bangor this weekend for 2 key games against 3rd-ranked New England College. The Eagles round out the regular season with a pair of non-conference games against Bowdoin on Sunday and one final matchup with Bates on Wednesday night. Nick?
Okay, Brian, thank you for that report. Coming up after the break, David Furtado will have your local weather forecast. We're back in a flash. Stay tuned.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Get your ass suit. You're not in here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm David Furtado with the Weather Outlook. As you can see from the WHSN Tower Cam, we're coming off a pretty sunny, beautiful spring day yesterday. We're getting some gloomy, cloudy skies here. It's not bright enough to warrant sunglasses, but definitely warm enough to open some windows. We're going to take a look at the current conditions. As you can see, Holden, we're at 67 and overcast. We're going to have sunny and 69 in Eastport. Bangor, we're at 71 and overcast. And Augusta and Portland, both overcast in the lower 60s. We're going to take a look at the national map. As you can see over here, we're going to, in the northwest, we're going to have some rain and snow as a low pressure moves in from the Pacific Ocean. In the center of the U.S., we're going to have some clear skies as the high pressure pushes out the low pressure to the south, and the East Coast is going to receive some rain and possibly some thunderstorms as the high pressure moves out into the Atlantic. Let's take a look what's going on tonight. It's going to be cloudy with a chance of rain. Lows in the upper 40s. There's going to be a 40% chance of rain. Tomorrow we're looking at some mostly cloudy skies, and it's going to be sunny throughout the day with a high of 58 and a low of 33. Take a look at the 5-day outlook. Sunny Saturday is going to be mostly cloudy going into a sunny day with temps of 59 to 33 and a low. Sunday is going to be sunny, 55, 36. Monday and Tuesday is going to be mostly cloudy with some mostly cloudy for both days. Highs in the lower 50s, dipping down to lows in the upper 30s. 30 to 40% chance of rain there. Wednesday, it's going to redeem the gloomy start to the work week with the sunny day, high 57, low of 35. A good weekend for hiking. Oh, absolutely. It's going to clear up overnight, and Sunday is going to be a beautiful day to go do some hiking.
Perfect. Well, when we come back, a Bangor weatherman calls it quits to pursue a higher calling. Stay tuned.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika, the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Everybody has a dream. mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Longtime meteorologist for WLBZ TV Channel 2 has decided to give up his television job to follow his spiritual calling. Steve McKay is leaving the station where he has worked since 1994 to work as a full-time minister. WCSH6 Rob Caldwell reports.
When you started here, did you ever think that it was going to be a long gig, or did you think, well, I'll do this for a few years and then maybe move on and try something else?
I thought it would be a long gig because I really enjoyed it. And one of the things I really appreciated about working here in the very studio that we are in right now as we do this, this is where so much of my childhood was spent watching. This is the actual studio where Eddie Driscoll did his show, you know, Dialing for Dollars, where Mason Mutt was here. And it was so cool to me that I was doing a weather forecast and standing in the very spot where Eddie Driscoll and Mason Mutt and all my childhood memories were being made.
You've had a special relationship with viewers. What's it been like, just the dealing with people when they run into you in the store, when they call in and give you temperatures? Yes. What's it like?
You know what it's like, and one of the most surprising things about being a meteorologist, and I mean this in the best sense possible, there are a lot of weather geeks and nerds out there like me, you know? People are so passionate about weather. You know, when you're on TV, you are recognized in a lot of places. So many people will come up and say, hey, do you remember that forecast back in, you know, 1998 when this big storm, and, you know, that person will go by and another person will come up. It is so cool how passionate people are about meteorology, and that's been a little surprising to me. But as I've gotten used to it, I've really come to appreciate that.
What's it been like this week, the final days?
Yeah, you know, seeing some of the Facebook posts that have been so generous, I hope I don't get emotional. But I wouldn't be surprised if I did, because now it's starting to become real. Again, cleaning out my desk, seeing some of the old photos back in 1994 and subsequent years, and all the people that we worked with. Little nostalgia is starting to creep up now.
When the weather gets bad and we've got 2 feet of snow coming, are you going to be saying to yourself, gee, I kind of wish I were back in the weather office? Or are you going to be saying, I'm happy to let someone else take care of that?
You know what? As odd as this may seem, I don't think I'll miss the weather office, but I will miss being out in it with a microphone. I know that sounds crazy, but I always enjoyed being out in that kind of weather, out in the field, and having somebody toss to me and getting a meteorologist's perspective on what's going on. And I think that all goes back to my love for storytelling. I love to tell either the weather story or the church story. I'm really into storytelling, so I will miss telling the weather story on those wacky Maine winter days.
Wow. Well, it's definitely unfortunate that Bangor is losing such a classic weatherman.
Yeah, it's going to be weird not seeing him on our televisions every night.
I could have picked up some cues, maybe not have gotten a little overworked up about there, but you know what? Take a turn, you do what you can, and you move on.
Well, maybe you can aspire to be something like that one day.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, that wraps up this edition of NESCom Connection. For more news and sports, check out our NESCom Journalism channel on YouTube.
Good night, everyone.